Hello and welcome, everyone. Good to see all of you. My name is Eric, and I'll be tech hosting this evening for this evening's very special community-led Medicine Buddha, as Lama Rod is holding it down in retreat land over in the UK. This evening, we are very fortunate and blessed that the radiant, iridescently brilliant Eli Ryn is helping us hold down this space. And so I just want to direct people's attention. As usual, I'm about to just drop some information in the chat that might be helpful for folks. As always, a Medicine Buddha quick links doc, and if you click that, you'll see links that you can use to learn more about Eli's work. Also, Eli's Venmo and PayPal information is there, their Patreon. And as someone who benefits from Eli's Patreon personally, I think Eli, I'll let them speak for themselves, but is just doing really vital work as a community-based healer and activist and just celestial being. And so please consider generously supporting them in reciprocity for what they're offering tonight. Also, just wanted to remind folks, dismiss the gathering on 4/27, that has passed. But there is a Free Radicals offering on Thursday, May 2nd, from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be a special 2-hour Free Radicals featuring Lama Rod Owens and queer Muslim poet Sana Asan. And they will be talking about all things liberation globally. And so that's offered on a donation basis, and everyone is welcome to attend if they are able. Should be a very special session. And without further ado, it is my joy to hand it over to dear Eli.
Thank you so much for that very generous introduction, Eric. And thank you everybody for being here with me today. If my internet gets weird at all, flag me and I will switch because I just saw a little unstable connection for the first time. But my phone's ready to switch you guys off. But I'll just say hello for now. I'm happy to join you all and happy to be here for Medicine Buddha. This is such a beautiful practice, and to be able to come together each week and to settle into this kind of medicine, I feel really grateful for. This week, I've been thinking a lot. All the student encampments have gone up, so I've been volunteering and, organizing and protesting with the ones closest to me in the Chicago area. And it's been really interesting to add another layer, another different type of protest into the mix. Anytime we expand our communal offerings, there is an opportunity, I think, to really look inward and remember why we show up. Remember why we do any of this. Remember why we open ourselves up to the suffering of the world. What's the point, right? Sometimes we get so lost in the opening that we forget our grounding, and we can kind of get washed away with the sea, right? Things start to feel overwhelming. We start to feel like there's nowhere to hold on. And, they're kind of anywhere to hold on to, but we start to panic about it instead of feeling kind of chill about it, right? And so that shift, natural, normal, it's going to come all the time. But I've been really grateful in these past few weeks to be grounded in my own yearning to be free. I feel intimate with my longing. And that is kind of a heartbreaking place to live in that grief of, I believe we deserve more. And in the reality of this is what we're working through. Holding space for that sometimes feels impossible. And that's why practices like Medicine Buddha, for me, I feel so grateful because it feels like it helps me make a little space in my body, helps me make a little space in my like spiritual capacity. And so I see Eric put the Google Doc there. You can check that out if you want to offer some prayers that I'll be reading later. But I really wanted to open up today with that idea of, or that question even, just to all of us, of what are you longing for? And how does it feel in your body to be pulled, to be searching, to be reaching towards something, or to be reaching within, whatever it feels like for you, right? What does longing feel like? And so just to open up, I'm going to read a short thing. I'll share my screen. So if you're a visual person, you can read along rather than listen, or whatever combination. My dog just started playing, of course. So if you hear a little squeak, that's Puma in the background. Okay. This is just a little piece called Will You Get Free With Me? It's a meditation on anti-nationalism, a love letter to radical community, and a record of abolitionist lineage transmission. I am an abolitionist, and when I was thinking, I wrote this a couple winters ago, but it just popped up in my spirit this week about when I was thinking about what I yearn for, what I'm really deepest, what I'm working for out of like the deepest love in me, and like how to balance that love and grief, how to not be washed away by it. So I'll read this shortly and then we'll kind of move through the rest of our practice. I'll give more of an agenda. Will you get free with me? Before we start, I invite you just to make sure you feel comfortable in your body, however you're sitting. You can let these words wash over you. You don't need to hold on to any of them. Just let them come and go. I want to be free, and I can't get there without you. I need you by my side for this, breathing the entire universe in and out with me. How else could we hold it all? If not one of us may arrive alone, then we must carry each other across the threshold in loving arms. I am sitting in a cemetery filled with settler bodies on unceded Potawatomi, Odawa, and Ojibwe land. It is a sub-freezing February day, and the ground is glistening white. I am facing my fear of ancestral ghosts as my boots break trail in the snow. Before me, there is a gravestone bearing my last name that belongs to a stranger. Across the country, my auntie is rushed to the ICU with emphysema and pneumonia. My sensei's father passes after holding on much longer than expected. A few states over, 2 more fathers of close friends pass. None of them came to this land, and very few of them chose to be here. And yet we are born and die on this land. It holds the nakedness of our flesh, always without shame, reflecting in our foot and hand prints its gentle bearing of our weight. When I breathe in, I am flooded with the grief of everything at once. Did they know peace before they died, even with the burdens of generational trauma and the constant fight for embodiment and connection under colonialism, capitalism, and white supremacy? Did they find their out, their reason, some joy in the hope of a way to get closer to burning it all down? Will they be rewarded in life beyond with the fruits of abolition? Will they know true homeland? I am sitting with suffocation in our displacement and grief, the violence of nation. Can't you feel the heat of my exhale join yours? For me, please, take a moment to sense it. I want to live, to be free. Everything is at stake, exactly right now. Imagine sitting back to back in the sun together. Take a deep breath in through the nose and slowly let it out through the mouth. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Let your jaw unclench. Relax the lower back, glutes, thighs. Notice the temperature of the air around you. Feel your lungs expand in all directions as you inhale. And as you exhale, sigh out completely, letting a little sound resonate and ground deep into your belly, into your toes, into the earth. What border could be drawn between us when we breathe this way? When our bellies hang completely relaxed and our skin, sun-warmed, sweats salt into the atmosphere and earth. Without indigenous land, my body becomes the territory. I till the soil of connection with my community. I tend to it with expansive queerness. This is the trans-divinational experience. Releasing into the divinity of continual transformation and refusing to use false borders. This too is where I meet you, in the unlimited capacity we have to transform, to birth healing and care, in the parts of you that have already become a part of me. Do you feel me with you in those pauses in between inhale and exhale? At the top of a breath, when my belly, lungs, and back are filled, there is a moment to dwell in before the outbreath. I do not search for homeland because it has filled my whole being. Each of my ancestors is with me as I expand, and again we meet. Face I have not yet held. Forehead I have not yet joined with mine. Ancestor who has not yet become. When I am full of everything in the whole world and beyond, and it is full of all of us, before the breath starts to leak and spill from my nose and throat, I kneel exactly before you. Will you get free with me? I know the path is long and weary. We are so tired, and so much violence has been carved into the land, our hearts. But I am here before you, and my hands are outstretched. Place your hands in mine and feel my breath. Don't you hear how loudly our hearts beat together? At the end of my meditation, I bow, chant, and stand before the gravestone. My outbreath becomes vows. With such conviction, it brings tears to my eyes. Inhale. I vow to be here. Inhale. I vow to be present. Inhale. I vow to return. My breath is entirely ours. May we always return to the moment. May we set each other free. Just in time for Puma to start squeaking. Take a deep breath in and out. I'm gonna get that squeak toy for y'all. Thank you all so much for listening to that. I appreciate you allowing me to offer and to take up a little space there. I think something about that piece comes up so much for me, and I don't usually like think of things I wrote outside of like me experiencing them, like the experience of writing them and what they mean to me. I'm not often just like, oh yes, that one poem you wrote, so good, Eli. But even though that's nice, that would be nice. Yes, I should let myself do that more. But this one, I just like feel it all of a sudden sometimes. It's something that like comes back to my like heart and spirit. And just really thinking like of what Lama Rod says, am I ready to be free? Am I ready to get free? Do I believe and trust in my own freedom and my own prayers, really? And how do I stay in this body, open and present as I open myself up? And the answer has been again and again to ask for help and to let everything in, right? To let, like Sharon saying, let the squeaks in, even, let the whimsy of life come to me and not turn myself away from it as it arrives. Right? It's easy to be annoyed at a dog instead of just be like, you're just trying to play. So now she's up here with us. She's just sweet and she's 3. So she deserves attention too, just like our moment. But yeah, I wanted to open up with that piece as a love letter to you all from me, as who I am and what I long for deepest. That's how I know how to express it, and I wanted to share that with you because this space I feel is for finding that part of yourself that heals you, finding that connection with your ancestors, with medicine Buddha, seeing yourself as medicine Buddha, right? That's a literal medicine Buddha practice, not even radical or subversive, just a straight up medicine Buddha practice, is seeing yourself as the medicine Buddha, is trying to understand what that means in your bones to have that power and to share, to find it in the connections every day that are arising and falling. And so today, as we move through this practice, again, the prayer doc is in the chat, but we will work with a little mantra work and our communal prayers to open up that space. So before we move into our mantra, I invite you to take a deep breath in and out and just notice how you feel right now. What do you need? Are you comfortable? Do you feel settled? Does that settling feel fluid? Don't get stuck, right? Doesn't have to be one way. You might notice how you feel in your seat, laying, sitting, standing, moving. And just as an opening to the medicine Buddha, you might let your eyes relax, your gaze soften, perhaps even close if it feels safe enough. And we might take a moment to imagine just a soft blue light glowing right in front of our heart space. As we breathe in, it expands a little. And as we breathe out, it deepens in its blue color, turning that rich, saturated, lapis lazuli, healing medicine Buddha blue. And we continue to breathe in and out. Now on the inhale, the light slowly enters the chest, and on the exhales, It starts to fill your entire torso up. Perhaps you imagine swirling like incense smoke or just a radiating, pulsing light. Each spot it touches in you, it offers a little space. It offers the yearning, the longing to be free. Without expectation. No need to fix every single ailment physically we have, but just to look. How do we feel? What's going on? And we'll take a few more breaths in and out, just sitting with this light. Are you ready to get free? Who answers that call when you ask that question to yourself? Today, perhaps, let it be the medicine Buddha, saying yes, I am already free. Perhaps we find our own reflection in this medicine Buddha arising in our heart space, arising in this deep blue. What can I remember in this part of me? What offerings are here? And with this opening, you open up this space of prayers to all beings suffering, to all beings looking to get free. And we'll move into our mantra practice, our main practice with medicine Buddha practice, at least in this session, to really try and ground into that question from earlier. Do you believe in your prayers? What would you need to believe yourself right now to feel in with the calling of these sacred words? Right? Our opening mantra will start with an Om, and then 3 times we'll say Om Men La Sangye Ki No Soha. Medicine Buddha, I pray that you know and look upon me now. For me, praying that I know to be known and looked upon by a deity is to pray that I can know and look upon myself, that I can find that connection, that dissolution of me and you, to find that bigger us, to find the earth again. So we'll do Om 3 times and one more Om. We'll breathe in together. Om. Om Bella Sangye Hin no So Ha Om Bella Sangye Hin no So Ha Om Bella Sangye Hin no So Ha Om Medicine Buddha joins us in this space. Continue to, if it feels good, check into your body. What do you need right now? As we move into our main mantra, we might ground in those vibrations that we're creating. I always nerd out about sound waves, but if you come to, I know Anne is already laughing because she's heard this so many times, but sound waves, they're physical things. That's like the cartoon poster of me. That's like my I want you. It's just sound waves, they're physical things. And probably like breathing is cool. But thinking of sound waves, right? Thinking of them as literal physical things coming out of our body, right? If you drop a rock in water, you see that ripple. That's the same way we can visualize the physical sound waves that we create, right? So we're generating these, thank you, Carla. We're generating these vibrations, we're generating this voice, but it's again shattering that duality, not thinking it of just new as things just starting here, as my struggle as only being before my own feet. But as these words, these syllables, these chants and mantra have been chanted for centuries over and over again by people deeply seeking to get free. And so as we chant here, even just in this computer screen, right, we kind of have like a by proxy physical sound wave coming from your speaker that's hitting you. So I'm saying hi into your room, but you can, misdirect me if you don't want me close to you. Your choice where I go. But allow those to pass through you, to transform. Allow your imagination to tune into your own radiance and how your radiance can begin to shine on you and then fill a whole room. It needs no destination. What does it feel like to just emanate a little? And so we'll move into our main practice, our main mantra, I should say, which is Tayata Bekanse, Maha Bekanse, Raja Samgate Soha. And that is a translation from the chat. Like this, I pray for the end of pain and suffering and the root of pain and suffering. And I release the energy of this prayer out to all the worlds so that we may all be liberated. So again, praying for that clarity, praying for knowing the root of suffering and pain, and then to release that out into the 10 directions, right? To just, sometimes when I am meditating for a while and I build up a lot of energy, I literally just have to shake out my hands because you feel that kind of buzzing building, right? And you have to release it. You don't have to, but it feels good to release it, right? It feels good to share, to find an outlet. And so I invite you to continually check in with yourself. How, as Lama Rod talks about being a cup that's poured into as it's poured out of, right? You can offer and receive at the same time rather than depleting your cup and then refilling it. How can we be poured into as we pour out? And so as we generate these prayers together, as we generate these physical sound waves, as we generate this heat in our belly and this homecoming of what are we here for? What are we praying for? Perhaps we can imagine releasing that as far can be. Releasing that into the deepest of rubble. Releasing that into the deepest of time. The versions of ourselves as children being held on the cheek by this prayer. The parts of us that are hard to look at, having center stage. So we move into the mantra, do one round of this, moving into the prayers, and then another round. Ayata umbekunze bekunze mahabekunze Radza samgate soha Tayata umbekunze bekunze mahabekunze Radza samgate soha Tayata Umbek Bek Mahabek Raza Samgade Swa Tayata Umbek Bek Mahabek Raza Samgade Swa Tayata Umbekze Bekze Mahabekze Raza Samgate Soha Dayata umbeknze beknze mahabeknze raza samgate soha Dayata umbeknze beknze mahabeknze raza samgate soha Dayata umbeknze beknze mahabeknze Radha samgate soha Tayata umbeknze beknze mahabeknze Radha samgate soha Dayata umbeknze beknze mahabeknze Radha samgate soha. Take a deep breath in. Let it out slow. Like this, I pray for the end of pain and suffering in the root of pain and suffering. And I release the energy of this prayer out to all the worlds so that we may all be liberated. Svaha, so be it. Right now. I'll move my attention to the prayer dock. Prayers for my excuse me. Prayers for my son with MS that he may be safe and well and okay with not being okay. Prayers for Elaine and Paul in their journeys through the Bardos. Prayers for friends R and their brother MR, SK, NS, and AW. Prayers for myself as I process grief and heal physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Prayers for Palestinians and the people in Sudan, Congo, Yemen, and Ukraine. Prayers for anyone who needs it, including gender-expansive folks. Prayers for Minister J and her family. She entered the Bardo last Thursday and is the fourth person to die in her family this year. Prayers for me as I go through cancer treatment. Prayers for my friend, Richard, and my brother, Michael. May they experience freedom and healing. Prayers for the Nimer. Prayers for all children in northern Gaza, suffering the senseless brutality. May those facing starvation and suffering lack of access to health care be relieved of their pain and fear. May they be resourced. May they live and heal and know peace. Prayers for support from this Sangha as I navigate turbulent times. May I find more love and acceptance in this space, and may my anger and frustration give way to clarity. May I find the strength to release my expectations and transcend the limits of my imagination regarding community. Prayers for Tom. May he finally recognize the extent to which his destructive tendencies have caused his loved ones harm. May he appreciate the unconditional love and generosity he's been afforded for years and recognize the value in reciprocity and sincere apology. May I find more Dharma community. May I find deep friendship in these spaces and cultivate joyful, radical spiritual community and communal practice. May what feels challenging and fixed give way to joy and fluidity. Prayers that Ivan finds release from his aggression, that he feels ease and love. Prayers for me that my anger towards him is liberated, that I feel freedom from my hatred, and that I have the firmness and discipline to stay with my practice and my self-kindness. For Bruce, who's navigating serious injury, illness, and pain. Prayers for my nieces, Sarah and Amanda. Prayers for my uncle David, who is still struggling after his stroke. Prayers for my cousin Rachel, who is patiently and humanly supporting my uncle. Prayers that I can process and let go of my anger and not hold on to anger that is not mine. Prayers that I can deal with my chronic health issues, even if my family can't support or see my struggle. Prayers that my extended family can see the humanity in others. Prayers for my healing, for healing my broken heart as I end a relationship that was toxic. Prayers to my former partner to heal their pain and sadness as well. Prayers for everyone in this community. Prayers for those feeling lonely or unseen. Prayers for my brother Rob, that he can follow his path and be supported. Prayers for my mom Laurel, as she navigates the loss of my father. Prayers for everyone struggling with uncertainty. Prayers for healing as I go through difficult time health-wise. May my nausea and headaches subside. May I feel good and strong in my body. Prayers for Nicole, Kathan, and Nellie to be healed from cancer. Prayers for Stella to be healed or to make a good transition, whichever she needs. Prayers that I am accompanied in holding the heartbreak that I constantly intellectualize and avoid. Prayers for all the students protesting. May they be protected from police violence and be heard. Prayers that I can maintain this wonderful wave I'm riding in my life. Prayers that my current high energy state can shine upon others and help to bring healing to them. Prayers that my father does not take hold of me and does not cause me to fall into the abyss. Prayers for Landy A, who's having surgery to remove an aneurysm from his carotid artery tomorrow. Prayers for Larry Durgan, who entered the Bardo 2 weeks ago, completely unexpectedly, leaving behind his young family and also older extended family, including his sister, Sarah, and Aunt Kit. For myself, for continued recovery from knee surgery, and also a sense of deep connection to the ancestors, and try to discern what I might offer that's healing into the collective, and also within individual relationships. Prayers to support for myself and all beings everywhere. Prayers for my partner and I to find ways to live and work together harmoniously, reflecting our relationship in the peace, love, and care we wish to support for others in the world. Prayers for my coworker, Sathid, who has surgery May 8th, and my dad, David, who is on dialysis and struggles with pain management every day, and my mother, Rita, who is often overwhelmed in caretaking for him and my family. Prayers for all the students protesting. May their sense of solidarity and care for humanity persevere. Prayers for my family and my partner as they navigate multiple genocides. Prayers for the land to hold us and remember. Prayers that we may all come home. May every prayer, spoken or unspoken, deep within your heart space or out on the page, be heard. May they be looked upon and seen right now. May you feel those physical waves of prayers coming to be in this world. May their generation start deep within your belly, and just the concretization, the concreteness of them, the completeness of them be in that speaking, in that knowing of your own heart. Whatever that means. May we see and hear. We'll move from those prayers back into that main mantra again, just for a couple minutes, going nice and slow, opening up to the feeling, the expression of your deepest prayer. Again, always knowing we can return to the body, return to the breath, return to a soft blue light in our chest when we need a container, when we need some holding. Ayata umbeknze beknze mahabeknze raza samgate soha. Ayata umbeknze beknze mahabeknze Raza samgate soha dayata umbeknze beknze mahabeknze Raza samgate soha dayata umbeknze beknze mahabeknze raza samgate soha dayata umbeknze beknze mahabeknze raza samgate soha Ayata umbeknze beknze mahabeknze raza samgate soha Ayata umbeknze beknze mahabeknze Raza samgate soha. Dayada umbegnze, begnze, mahabegnze. 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 Raza samgate soha. May the energy of these prayers be released in all directions. May all beings be free, and may I know what I mean when I say that. May I believe I am one of those beings that deserves to be free. May I remember the medicine Buddha within me. May I remember my ancestors who have gotten free before, who have tilled the land with knowledge of how it came to be and how it will continue to go. May we remember the roots, not just of our pain and suffering, but the roots of who we are. If we were trees today, may we remember that most of us is underground. As far as we stretch above into this physical realm, so below, we travel even deeper. When we imagine our prayers going out into the 10 directions, when we imagine these, ornate, beautiful meditation, yogi, Buddhist visualizations of expansive, may that be true to us. May we believe in our prayers. May out not just be somewhere I can point to, right? Like the finger pointing at the moon parable, if anybody's familiar with that one. May I not get lost in the whole sight of the sky, by looking at my finger that's pointing at the moon. Right? Bring myself out, shatter that wall. I am not just here. My breath is yours. We breathe with the wind. And so as we move into our closing prayer, we'll read Shanti Deva's prayer 3 times together. Again, as ever, just letting it arise and fall, letting it land true, whatever that means for you today. May we ground to this, into this energy and root into our own roots, our own hows and whys. Shanti Deva's prayer. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach unto the ends of space. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach unto the ends of space. And lastly, may I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be cleared away completely. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. May we dedicate this practice to all beings. May they be free. May they see the end of their suffering. May we see clearly into the deepest parts of ourselves. May it be so right now. This body, this lifetime, this breath, liberation. Again and again and again. That's my hopes and dreams for us today. Thank you so much for sharing space with me and for doing this practice with me today. I appreciate you all, and thank you, Eric, for tech hosting. As always, we'll open up the space for any folks who would like to check in, check out. I'll toss it to Eric first, and then maybe anybody can open up, say hello. Feel free to say goodbye in the chat as well. Thank you so much, everybody.
I'll keep it quick. Eli, you are just so your artistry and your embodiment of this work is just a profound inspiration to me, and I imagine that these words resonate with others in this space, and I just wish you to be completely enshrouded in protection and love and appreciation in everything you do. You are such an incredible blessing to us in this lifetime and to all beings on this plane. Medicine Buddha in the flesh. Thank you for giving so generously to us this evening. And so, my friends, if you feel inspired to just contribute to the deep well of energy and insight that Eli is drawing from, please consider giving generously. Venmo and PayPal at Eli Ryn Brown, website www.elirynbrown.com, Patreon to get your monthly medicine with Eli. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you all for being here as well.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks, Eric. I'll see you all when I see you. Thank you. Bye, everybody.